You're live. You guys are live right now. All this is going on YouTube. Yeah, this is definitely going on YouTube. I'm gonna edit everything now. We're live. How to set up my station. If I do a cut. Alright guys, in this tutorial we're going to start off just by doing the fade in the back. So go ahead and get your neck strip, put it on the client, and put the cape as you see me doing it. Don't forget to fold the neck strip towards the cape, preventing the neck touching anything that has to do with the cape. So the reason why we're going to do the back of the hair, and only the back of the hair, because I'm going to get into detail, explain to you step by step how the fading process is. So as you can see, I grabbed my T outliners first, and I did my first outline. Go ahead and take your time and be symmetrical for whatever you do from the right, do the same to the left. After that, what I do, I usually grab my baldings because I don't want to mess up my T outliners. Also, you could do it with your T liners if you want, but I use my baldings just to bald everything out. And this T liner that I'm using at the moment right now, it just so happens to cut shorter. So the reason why I use it, because it's going to help me out when I hit it with the balding electric shaver. It will help me prevent a line. So now that I have my electric shaver, exactly where I pointed out right now is where I'm going to stop. You never want to stop exactly where your T outliner is, especially if you're using your balding. You got to respect the sizes and give it its distance so you won't create a line or have any troubles erasing any type of line. So now that we have our foundation, which is the line you see right now that was created with the T outliner, we're going to go ahead and create a second line. Okay, the reason why we're going to create a second line is because we need to create sections for us to have the proper space to come back and erase. Now there's plenty of different ways on a blend. So the way I'm doing right now, I'm creating a line. Usually there's people that create two lines, erase the bottom line, and go on towards the next line on top. But the way I'm going to do it, I'm going to create a couple lines with different sizes. Now the only thing you need to do is go ahead and grab a notebook and make sure you write these things down if you're really trying to learn how to cut hair, because it's all just a routine and you need to remember that routine that you're doing right now. That being said, I'm going to give you a review on the lines that we're creating right now. The first line we created was with the T outliner. The second one was created with the half, which means the machine without a clip with the level open, which is long. That was our second line. Now our third line, which is the one we're creating right now, is with the clip number 1 with the level all the way open, which is long. That represents a 1.5 now, having the level all the way open. Having the level all the way closed is a 1. So we have 3 lines. Like I said, the T outliner is the first one, the half is the second, and the third one is the 1.5. Now what we're doing right now, we're pretty much doing like a little we're doing sections pretty much. In these sections, as you can see, every section has a different tone of color. One is very light, one is light, another one is slightly dark, and as you can see, the top one is really dark. So that's how the transition is going to end up turning from light to dark, and you're going to get a great transition. So as you can see, the space and the last line that we're creating with the number 3, that will be taken care of with the clipper over comb, which you don't need clippers after that. It's pretty much your comb and your machine, and you're going to knock that out, and it's going to be very easy since we're using the number 3. So now focusing on our second bottom line, which is created with the half, we're going to go ahead and erase it, grabbing the 1 clip with the level all the way closed. As you can see, us passing the line, it's already getting light and it looks like it's already getting blended. But to leave a perfect haircut, you got to fill in the gaps. So what I mean by that, there's a gap in between the half and the 1. So that means you're still going to see slightly spots or a slight line that you're not going to be able to take off. Which, in that situation, you're going to need the next clip, which is the half clip. Now before we use the half clip, as you saw right now, I put the level towards the middle. And then having the level all the way up is going to stop where that line is at, where that third line is at, which is a 1.5. So that's fine too. You could use that as a guide, knowing exactly where to stop. So as you can see now, we have our half clip, and I'm putting the level in the middle. As you can slightly still see the second line, that's what we're gonna target and erase. As long as we pass that line slightly a little bit, that line is gonna go away, and you still see you can still see the third line that was created with the 1.5. So like I said, you could use that as a guide, knowing how far not to go. So our goal right now is to blend out that half clip, which is pretty much done, especially when you put the clip all the way close. I don't always put the clip all the way close with the half, but if I have to, I'll do it. So now focusing back towards our third line, which is the only line that we have in the middle now because we erased the half line. So the way we're gonna blend, remember the line on top of that is the number 3. So we're gonna use a 2.5 open, and we're gonna stop in between the number 3 and the 1.5. As you do that with the clip open with the number 2, you see the middle line blending out and buffing out. Why? Because this clip, the number 2 all the way close, complements to the number 1, which is the one that created that line all the way open. So as long as we pass that number 2 open and then bring the level towards the middle, which becomes the size shorter, and we pass that, we're gonna buff out the line. And when we pass it with the number 2 all the way close, we're for surely taking off that line. Now if you don't happen to take off that line, as you can see right now, I have my number 1 clip all the way open, and I'm just detailing any single little spot that I missed. Focusing back to our first line, which is the bottom one that was created with the half. The way we're gonna erase it is with our clip, with our machine with no clip, which is a half. So we're pretty much gonna pass the bottom line so we could get a good idea where to stop, and we're gonna put the level towards the middle. As we pass the bottom line with the level towards the middle, we could see the line fading away, erasing already. So the whole blend is coming towards a good transition. As you can see, every time I put the level slightly lower and lower, my size of my machine becomes shorter and shorter. So you gotta be aware that when you put the level shorter, you don't go as high. But you could also see the line erasing. By the time I put the level all the way close, which represents the machine being short towards its full potential, you pretty much got rid of the whole line. So a little review on how the machine works. Having the level all the way close gives you a short size, which is a number 0. Now a bigger size than that is the level all the way open. It's called a half. So what I usually do before I line people up on the sides, since it's a taper, I don't like the hair overlapping. So what I do, I get the clipper over comb and I just hit the sides where the hair is, where I'm gonna line them up. As you can see, I'm lining up the client. I'm not pushing so back, enough to get a good detail. And pretty much when you guys do this, just take your time. And as you can see me doing the curve right there, I always use the corner of the blade to do the curve. So when I line up the sides, I always use the full blade so I can leave a straight line, and as I curve, I use the corner. Every time when I shave somebody, I use aftershave mixed with water. The reason why I use that, because it's very lubricated and you can see where you're shaving, so you could get a good close shave. So as you can see here, I'm shaving down to make sure I cut and shave any little hairs that I missed from the beginning of this haircut. And right here, the angle that I'm positioned in allows me to shave in. That will leave your outline from the taper more sharp and more outline. So pretty much what I'm doing on the other side is the same thing I did towards the other side, which I'm taking off the hairs that are overlapping, preventing it being harder for me to line up the back. So as you can see, now that I'm lining up the back, I don't have long hairs that are going to overlap, and it's going to be way easier for me to do that outline more crispier and more straight. So after you have your outline towards the way you want it to look, you're gonna go ahead and shave again. So pretty much this is already like almost the ending of the video, and what I'm doing right now, I'm just, like I said, I'm just shaving up. And it gives you the better outline towards whatever you outline. the blade just really makes it stand out. So as you can see right here, the last line I'm taking out is with clipper over comb, and as you can see, it's very easy because anything after the number 3 is just really easy to take off, for the simple fact that it's not a harsh line. So you could really, if you really want to practice how to do clipper over comb, I suggest you starting off clipper over combing after the number 3 or the number 2, because anything shorter than that is gonna be really hard and confusing for you guys to do, especially if you guys don't have that much experience using the clipper over comb. But as you can see from these angles that I'm taking, you can see the transition being smooth now after I use the clipper over comb. So yeah, pretty much I just use the number 3 as a baseline for me to know exactly where to stop, and for me to know where to cut when I use clipper over comb. At the end of the day, I know when I'm blending towards the number 3 to the long hair, compared from the long hair to like a number 1, which is really hard. So yeah, that's pretty much it. My name is Busco the Barber. I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial, this one-on-one tutorial with me, and most importantly, I hope you guys learned. And if you guys have any questions, go ahead and leave me a comment. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, Busco5150cuts. Peace out.